Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh is the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai is the Son of the living power, the Messiah, which these are the true names of the Most High and His only begotten Son, in the ancient Hebrew tongue, and Lashon Kodash, which means holy language. Also want to give double honors to the elder apostles, to the elder bishops, and to the upcoming elders that rule well, that teach well, of Great Millstone. I want to give peace and blessings unto the elect, and salute shalom to the fellow laborers pushing His truth. My name is Zakaria, and the focus of this lesson is a biblical prophecy. Prophecy concerning these last days, prophecy concerning my people Israel, who are the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are the true Hebrew Israelites, according to biblical prophecy, proved by biblical prophecy, according to the Spirit, according to the Scriptures. So we are the only people who fit, what is said, in the Scriptures. Basically the focus of this lesson is going into, the time that Yahweh Shai alluded to, where he spoke about a time of great tribulation, a time of great trouble, and this is a time that the Messiah spoke about, and this will be a time where a lot of people are going to die, mass death, destruction, a depopulation. In this case, it's going to be the Lord depopulation. You got Esau, the so-called white man, the elites, right? There's so much talk on how they have a depopulation agenda, which I believe it to be true. Well, the Lord has His own depopulation agenda, because ultimately He threatened evil, and it will be fulfilled, His threats. In fact, touched upon that. Let's go here real quick. Ezekiel chapter 3. I think chapter 2, Salaki. Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 9. And when I looked, behold, an hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And that book is the Scriptures, the Word, the Bible. And He spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. And that's what's in these Scriptures, man. Lamentations, mournings, and woes. There's so many threats from the Lord to the nations. These different prophecies, and visions of the prophets, written in Scriptures. Prophecy means to say before. These different passages in the Holy Bible is full of threats from the Lord Himself through the nations. To the nations, shall I say, to the world, and to the so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Because here it is, we are the children of Israel. And the Lord have only knew us. He have only called us and chose us as a people. But because of our wickedness, we have been separated from our heritage and from our culture and from our knowledge and from the knowledge of the Most High. So the Lord will deal with us accordingly. Now, as for you Israelite believers, you elect, you hopeful elect, you will be kept from those evils. Why? Because ultimately, the Lord have enlightened you, and separated you from the rest of Israel, and you will be preserved through this faith that you have. But as for the rest, the Lord is going to kill, whether by sword, armed conflict, or by famine, or by pestilence. And that's what the Lord will bring upon, Israel in these last days. And this is a time that, as I said, Yahweh Shai talked about. Matthew chapter 24, verse I think it's down here. Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation." Tribulation meaning what? Trouble. So there's going to be great troubles. Troublesome times. And this is the Lord's agenda. In fact, what do that word agenda means? It means what? Let's see if I can get it real quick. Agenda from the etymology dictionary. Things to be done is from the Latin word agenda. What? Things to be done. That word agenda is from the let's see what this word neuter means. Slaki. So it's a new basically it's you can find the word agendis, right, which means to do. So the Lord, and he got things to be done. Things that he said he's going to do. And he will fulfill his plans. In other words, he got different devices, strategies, intents, that he will fulfill. And you can read about them in these scriptures. Prophecies concerning Babylon the Great being destroyed, World War III, famine, and that's biblical prophecy. And forgive me, it's raining out here, so Lord willing, you can hear me. But you get the point. So going back to Matthew chapter 24, verse 21, it says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world, to this time, no ever shall be." So a time that cannot be compared to no other time on this earth. To any other time on this earth. It cannot be compared. Such as slavery, 70 AD, the Holocaust, the slaughtering of the Gadites, the native Indians. Those times cannot be compared to the time that the Lord will bring, to the troublesome times of these last days. It says, "Such as was not since the beginning of the world, to this time, no ever shall be." So there's going to be a mass death. And the Lord is going to be appointing the people to these different evils, such as famine. The focus that I want to touch upon is what? Armed conflict. Pestilence. So, let's, hop right into the lesson. I came across this video a couple of days ago, surrounding, a Russian soldier, Ukrainian soldier, on a battlefield, basically hiding himself from a drone, a Russian drone. And when you watch this video, it's terrifying. It's very terrifying, because it shows you the harsh reality of modern warfare. I'm gonna play a little bit of this video, but there's music that plays like 30 seconds after, if I'm not mistaken. I don't want this video to be copyrighted, so I'm gonna just play a little bit. And I'm gonna mute it. So, hey, man, that's scary, man. Imagine hearing that sound. And I'm led to believe, speaking as a man, when it comes to this great tribulation that the Lord will bring, that is written, when its time is fulfilled, when its time come on the scene and its physical plane, Esau will play a very, ultimately, according to prophecy, Esau, he will play a very big role, a very big factor in what? Destroying you, in armed conflict. You got a thing called martial law. Esau, he will set up, or have his detainment camps. He will, and he has this depopulation program. It will come a time, according to prophecy, it will come a time when he will put in action his military, his soldiers, to kill and to slaughter or to take captive a lot of you people. Ultimately the poor, the needy, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Indians. And this is going to come upon, this is going to happen, be performed in the streets of America. And not only that, but you can also think about, hey, maybe the Lord will have, different, terrorists, or enemy militaries in this land as well. But just think on what Esau will use. Esau have all this technology, all these types of weapons to destroy you, Jake, when it's time to destroy you. Especially if you don't want to submit onto his measures, onto his decrees, man. Different drones. Recently you had what many will call one of the largest terrorist attack or cyber physical attack, in history in the Middle East, where Israel basically detonated, different types of devices, of what they were, soldiers, Houthi soldiers, or Lebanon soldiers, and a lot of thousands of people died because their device, what is called payphones, not payphones, but basically devices that they carry on a day-to-day basis basically exploded in their pocket, in their hands, or near their faces. And there's so much talk, in the world concerning, well, could these devices explode if someone hacked into them? And you got a lot of anxiety increasing. A lot of fear, especially, in America, man. Because if Esau wanted to do that, who knows if Esau didn't already do that? Put some type of substance in your phone, and at a appointed time, hack into them or detonate it, and then he'll have you people right where he needs you, defenseless, destroyed, because part of his new world order is what? To depopulate. In fact, you got, remember the Georgia Guidestone, that was on the Georgia Guidestone, in order for this man to achieve his grand plan, his new world order, a lot of people going to have to die. A lot of people are going to have to be destroyed, put to death, liquidated, deleted, if he want to carry through, fulfill what he want to fulfill, everybody being chipped or whatever, and you're going to have to liquidate a lot of people. So who knows what type of explosion attacks that this man will use upon you American people, upon you Jakes, and upon you, because really the enemies are ultimately you Jakes, because he have a hatred, the so-called white man, he have a hatred towards you, but, the other enemies is what? Just, your American dissident. A dissident is someone who oppose, the rule or authority or agenda of a particular rulership or government. And you already had, politicians like, Hillary Clinton, and other politicians allude to dissident camps, detainment camps. You got your Trump supporters. Your Trump supporters is the your prime example of a dissident. Everyone is damn near conspiracy theorists to some degree. So this man, it will come a time when he will come down upon the people with great wrath by way of his measures, his laws and legislations, by way of military force, police force, and a lot of people are going to die. You not only that, but you're going to have Americans against Americans, man. Civil war, race wars, if Esau see you as a threat, or someone who may buck up or resist, why would he put up with that? Why don't he just kill you? So it may come a time when Esau may unleash, right, his different drones, explosion attacks. And let me stop talking. Let me just jump into the scriptures, man, because this is not my words. And certain things I am speaking as a man. I don't know 100%, but according to the Bible, there will be mass death due to what? Armed conflict. Due to the sword or due to weapons. And let's get that real quick. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 18. It says, "For because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled." So your different cities, in the world, especially here in America, will be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed. And the house is being destroyed. And what can destroy a house? Explosions. Probably mini missiles. You never know. Of course, I'm not talking in terms of nukes, which nukes is coming to this land. But, Esau, he probably won't drop nukes on his own people, even if he is, coming against his own people. That's going to be the other countries, according to biblical prophecy. But Esau, what makes you think Esau won't bring forth these mini bombs or these bombs, missiles, to cut the number of the people short? It says the cities shall be troubled, Picture that. In fact, they showed in the movie called Leave the World Behind. I think it was what New York being destroyed. Being, fires, buildings on fires, buildings falling. What makes you think he won't do that again? To some degree. It says, and men shall be afraid. So the sound of explosions, the sound of guns, the sound of crying and lamenting, that's going to be heard according to biblical prophecy, man, in these last days. The little peace or quietness that you American people do have, that's going to be taken away. Second Esdras, chapter 16. Second Esdras, chapter 16, verse 17. And this is Esdras basically describing what's about to come in these last days. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Yeah, and Esdras, he's seen this. He was enlightened, of this time to come. And Esdras, if I'm not mistaken, he is going to be in these last days, according to biblical, which reincarnation is a thing. A lot of the prophets of old are here today, but the Lord would deliver them. The Lord would deliver all his elect, right? But Esdras, he's basically explaining just the grim future, man, that's coming. It says, woe is me, woe is me. And when you go into that word, woe, if someone say, woe is me, that man is expressing, his grief, his sorrow, and his fear. It says, who would deliver me in those days? And the only person who could deliver you is Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Not Jesus, not Jehovah, which are, false names, not the real names, but the Most High or his son. Not Allah, not my bad, it was good. But not none of these, different idols, man. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings. The beginning of famine and great death. The beginning of wars. Right? You will have your wars happening on, on the earth. But, wars in the homeland, as some would say, different battles, armed conflicts, struggles. It says, and a power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Yeah, because it's going to be so drastic. And I could go as far as to say that the evils coming is going to be complex. Meaning what? There's going to be different parts to it. Different factors and elements. Again, race wars. Civil war. Rebellions and revolts. Not only that, but also your own military coming down upon you and upon its own inhabitants or its own civilians. Martial law, but also famine, pestilence. Who will know? There could be an element of what bio warfare. Biological warfare. And not only that, you gotta also think about what? The wildfires. If you think wildfires is dangerous now, how much more during a time when firefighters will either be dead or seeking to save their own life. Because ain't nobody gonna be working in those days. Just the American infrastructure, the American show would just be put to an end. All works is going to fail. All businesses and enterprises are going to fail. They that have shall lose. They that are married shall lose their other. Widows will be made during these times. When I think they call men widows as well. Men widows will be made as well. Children are going to be